Please stop what you're doing for a moment. Take a deep breath and stop. This isn't just an idea that I'm about to share with you. It's not a spiritual idea or a theory. There is something that will completely change the way you see yourself and the world around you. You are having this experience right now, whether you are aware of it or not. It is real and can be proven. You are being watched. That's not a scary thing to say. Nobody from the outside is watching you. Not the government, not ghosts in another world, and not anyone else. Everything in the world is watching you. The quantum field, that smart, invisible energy that makes everything possible and links everything together, can see and feel you. This field is lovingly measuring, responding to, and rearranging itself all the time based on the quality of your consciousness. And here's a secret that no one tells you. This observation is not passive. It's not cold or far away. There is more to the quantum field than just a scientist watching you and taking notes. It is responding directly to what it sees in you. It's bringing together all the different shimmering possibilities of what could be into the one solid reality you live in every day. This amazing choice is based on just one thing: the direction and coherence of your consciousness. There is a field that can read every thought, feeling, and state of being you have in your heart. It's checking out your signal, and it is creating a reality that matches that signal with such accuracy that it would scare you if you knew how fast and complete this process is. You already know this, though, right? In your heart, you've known this was true. Life seems to be responding to you in ways that don't make sense. It's a strange, uncanny, almost magical feeling. You're thinking about a friend you haven't talked to in years, when all of a sudden, their name comes up on your phone. You really need something, and the answer comes from somewhere you couldn't have imagined. You have a deep-seated fear, and it seems like the world is conspiring to bring that fear right to your door. It's not a coincidence. There is more to this than the law of attraction. That's what quantum observation is. The field is always dancing with your consciousness and reflecting back exactly what you send out. Here's why this is so important, and why you had to hear it today. Right now, in this very moment of your life, that thought is getting stronger. The field is no longer just keeping an eye on you for fun. It is focused on you with a laser-like accuracy that has never been seen before. Why? Because you're now at a different frequency. Your awareness has grown, healed, and spread to the point where you can no longer send out static and chaos without even realizing it. You are now on the threshold. You can now stop being a victim of what life does to you and start being a loving, conscious director of what the field sees in you and what it causes to happen for you. In their labs, the scientists who found quantum mechanics proved this. With their own eyes, they saw that tiny particles act in very different ways when they are being watched. Just looking at something changes it in a real way. They didn't fully understand, though, that this isn't just a strange experiment. This is always and everywhere how reality works. It's not enough for you to just watch reality. The truth is that it watches you. You are always having an effect on each other, because it's a two-way street with one instant feedback loop. Also, something has changed now. The field's attention on you has become more intense. You may have seen it. It's possible that reality feels more responsive or fluid now than it did before. Your manifestations, both good and bad, are happening faster, and coincidences are happening more often. You may have even had that strange, lingering feeling of being watched, of being tracked, or kept an eye on by something that you can't see but is here. You're not making this up. You're not crazy. Because you have reached a new stage in your soul's journey, the quantum observation has become stronger. It's time for you to work with this beautiful and powerful system instead of just letting it affect you without realizing it. Now is your chance. Don't say someday when you're more knowledgeable. It's not later when you know more or have fixed yourself. Right now. Right now, the field is watching you with all of its loving power. Which of the infinite possibilities comes true for you will depend on what you do in response to this observation, or what signal you choose to send back. Fear, doubt, and feelings of not being good enough can keep playing out in your mind, and you can watch as the field builds a chaotic reality to match. To change things, you can stand up, take a deep breath, and direct your energy lovingly and consciously. You can make it clear to the field what to do. You can be amazed as your reality changes in ways that seem impossible until you experience them for yourself. I know things have been weird in your world lately. Maybe there are things, feelings, or moments that you haven't told anyone about because you think they sound too strange, not possible at all. You might even feel like you're losing touch with consensus reality. With all the love in my heart, I want to tell you the opposite. You are not losing your grip. You're finally getting a handle on the real world. You can start to see the quantum world, which is made up of pure creative energy, moving below the world's solid, finished illusion. You feel strange because the field is showing you how it really works, instead of just keeping up the comfortable, sleepy illusion. Are you aware that the system has been giving you what feel like glitches? There are times when time seems to skip, stutter, or even repeat. You will have a clear memory of something happening, but everyone else will have a very different memory. It seems like the real world is stuttering. In this case, these are real memories. You're not losing it. The quantum field you are seeing is in the process of reorganizing. You can see hints of the probability waves as they break apart. You are seeing how reality is built, not just the finished product. You are able to see how the field works because you have become better at observing something. Also, you can't deny the feeling that your thoughts are coming true almost right away. Those aren't the only big dreams I have in mind. I mean the little things that happen every day. It's possible for a random song to play on the radio right after you think of it. Someone will call you right when you're thinking about them. You'll need a specific answer, and it seems like magic, the right video or book will appear. The space between what you're thinking and what you're experiencing is getting smaller. It's going down. Things aren't going this way because you learned a new technique. This is taking place because the quantum field is watching you more closely, reading your signal more accurately, and responding to you with less delay and distortion. The feeling of being watched when no one is there might be the most upsetting of all. Feeling like someone is paying close, focused attention to you, but you can't see them. It's there, but you can't see it. Even though your logical mind tries very hard to tell you that the feeling is just in your head or paranoia, it won't go away. It seems too real. There is no one watching you. You can directly feel the observation of the quantum field. The feeling you're having is the field's loving attention on your consciousness. It's reading you, measuring you, and getting ready to talk to you. You only find it uncomfortable because you've never felt like someone was watching you in such a basic, creative way before. Then there's the way that chance seems to bend around you. A lot of things that should happen very rarely do happen all the time. Just when you need it, the perfect parking spot shows up. You have perfect timing in situations that you shouldn't be able to change at all. Big things that were going to get in your way seem to disappear right before they do. That is the opposite. If you've ever been scared or contracted, you know how obstacles seem to keep coming up at the same time. It seems like the world is working against you. There is no plot going on in the field for or against you. It's just reflecting you. If you are clear and logical, it will reflect that back to you. It shows that you are chaotic when you are contracted. There you have it. The mirror is finally working, and it shows you how quickly and perfectly your reality responds to your consciousness. Plus, you've noticed that other people are reacting to you in new ways. They don't know what it is, but they feel like something has changed about you. Some people are suddenly drawn to you, to your energy, and they don't know why. Others may feel awkward around you out of the blue and pull away, also for no apparent reason. They're not interested in your personality or your new shirt. It's the frequency that you send out. Your signal, which is getting stronger, clearer, and more coherent than ever, is being picked up by their own quantum field. And that signal is being read and acted upon by everyone, even if they are not aware of it. Knowing things you shouldn't logically know might be the most important thing of all. Information just shows up in your mind. You'll understand things you've never studied or become aware of things about people you just met. It's not a psychic gift. You can now directly connect to the quantum field, which is where all information and possibilities live. Think about the fact that the observation works both ways. You can start to look at the field as it looks at you. You can send and receive information. It's just that you're learning to read the field, which is also reading you. That, right there, is what allows you to direct your energy consciously. As of right now, everything you've ever felt or seen has been caused by unconscious quantum observation. Your consciousness was constantly being read by the field, which then created a reality that matched it. You had no idea that this was happening. Every win you've ever had? When your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs were all in sync, the field responded to that moment of internal coherence. Every mistake and every hard challenge, that was the field's answer to your own contradiction. Every beautiful synchronicity was the field telling you, "Hey, I am hearing. I can be reached." Each challenge was the field reflecting your own chaos back to you so you could see it. It was all planned out. Everything, every second, was a precise quantum response to the signal you were sending out without realizing it. The universe never, ever punished you by making you suffer. Listen to this. It wasn't that life was being mean to you. It was the quantum field telling you nothing but loving details about the quality of the consciousness you were assuming. When you were suffering the most, it was because your signals were the most confusing, chaotic, and contradictory. You thought one thing, "I'm not worthy," while wanting something else, like love. You wanted success but thought you would fail. You were looking for connection even though you felt alone and separate. When the field receives signals that are at odds with each other, it can only respond by making reality that is at odds with itself, chaotic, and often painful. Your pain was just a perfect mirror that showed you the contradiction inside you that you couldn't see. Every spiritual practice you've ever done was really just a way to train yourself to send a stronger signal. Even if this wasn't how the practices were explained, it wasn't really about connecting with God when I meditated. It was about getting rid of the noise and static in your signal so that the field could get a better read on your real frequency. Saying affirmations wasn't the same as reprogramming your subconscious. They were an effort to create coherence, to make your conscious desire and your unconscious belief sing the same song. Creating reality with your mind wasn't what visualization was about. It was about giving the field a clear picture to work with, instead of the jumbled, contradictory pictures your mind had been making all day. The main reason most of those methods didn't work, or only worked temporarily, was because they were only treating the symptoms and not the cause. When you meditate and feel calm, you send a beautiful, coherent signal to the field, which it picked up. But after you stopped meditating, your thoughts would return to being jumbled, and the field would have to deal with that instead. "I am abundant" would be what you said, but deep down, you were still feeling, "I am unworthy and not enough." Never, ever would the field respond to the words on the surface. It would always respond to the deeper, stronger, unconscious signal. You thought you could change what the field saw about you, but you didn't realize that it sees everything. It sees every thought, every belief, every shadow, and every fear that is hidden. There is no way to hide any part of yourself from quantum observation. Now you've finally reached the point where you can just use this mechanism. For example, you don't need to do things that might or might not change your core signal. Finding coherence doesn't have to take an hour of meditation if you can learn to do it consciously in one moment. If you can see and get rid of the inner contradictions that are causing the incoherence in the first place, you don't need to keep repeating affirmations. This is the big change. In this step, you move from unconscious to conscious quantum participation. People used to listen to you like a radio station that played music all the time without realizing they were doing it or that anyone was listening. You are now becoming aware. At this point, you realize that the whole quantum field is always tuned in to your signal and responding perfectly. Everything has changed now that I know this. Because once you know the mechanism is real, you can't take part without realizing it. From now on, every thought is a choice about what signal to send. Every emotion is like instant feedback that tells you if your signal makes sense or not. It turns every moment into a golden chance to choose how to use your energy instead of letting your old, unconscious patterns take over. The quantum observation is at its strongest right now as you read these words. This very information is being measured by the field. The reading can tell if you're willing to accept it or not. It checks to see if you are ready to consciously shape your reality, or if you'll go back to the old comfort of unconscious broadcasting. In this very moment, your response in your heart is being stored in the field as a sign for what reality to bring to you next. Feel it? That electricity-like feel in the air? That sense of being more aware? That feeling that you need to make a decision right now? That's not just what I say. That's how the field's focused observation makes you feel. Reality is paying close attention to you at that very moment. Because this moment sets the course for your whole life. At these threshold points, the observation always gets stronger, and you are in one right now. The line between being an unconscious victim and being a conscious creator. The power that's building up inside you isn't coming from outside. Your own consciousness is aware that it has been given a choice it has never had before. Either keep letting old, hurt patterns send out confusing signals, or finally and lovingly take charge of what the field sees in you. You've always had this choice, but you couldn't make it until you knew how it worked. You get it now. The field looks at you. You can see how the field is looking at you. During that holy, shared observation, you have the power to choose what comes next. But this is why this moment is so important. There isn't much time left to make this change, this conscious choice. The field is very responsive right now. You're very aware of things. The observation is at its strongest. If you act now, If you say yes to this, you will start living a new life with clear goals. There will be less of a buzz if you ignore this, click away, or just file it under interesting information and do nothing else. The window will shut, and you'll have to wait for another turn of events, maybe another crisis, where all of these things come together again. It's not often like this. They are very valuable, and you shouldn't be careless with them. What I'm about to say is the exact way that conscious direction works. What can be done to give the field a pure, clear signal instead of a bunch of mixed signals? How to spread coherence rather than conflict within an organization. That your consciousness is so clear that the field doesn't have any doubts or questions about what beautiful reality to bring into your life. You need to decide first, though. Would you really be willing to take full responsibility for what the field sees in you? Why? Because you can't lie and say you don't know how to direct it again. Never again put the blame for your life on other people, bad luck, or outside events. You are fully and completely in charge of your reality because you will know how you are making it happen. By sending out a signal. That was 2 years ago. I was sitting in my apartment and I was totally desperate. There was no more money. Someone betrayed me in a relationship I had put a lot of heart into. My health was getting worse. It seemed like I had tried everything. Everything, I mean. It was all kinds of things. Affirmations, visualization, energy work, therapy, coaching, you name it. For a short time, some things had helped, but nothing made changes that would last. No matter how hard I tried to get away, I felt like I was fighting an invisible, unstoppable force that kept pulling me back into the same old patterns of lack and heartbreak. At that point that night, I was so angry that I just stopped. Stopping. No longer did I try to fix myself. It was the last time I meditated, said affirmations, or visualized. I did not do anything. In that moment of complete, painful giving up, something amazing took place. Something I hadn't seen before caught my attention. Being there. A look. Feeling like you were being watched by something huge, smart, and very responsive. It wasn't a person, animal, or thing. I felt like reality was paying attention to me in a way I had never been aware of. And right then, when I felt the observation, I realized something that really shocked me. The observer wasn't fair. It was answering me. It replied to every single thought I had. I was able to record every emotion I felt. It reflected back every state I was in. It wasn't because the methods were bad that nothing had worked in the long run. It was because underneath all those conscious practices, I was sending out signals that were at odds with each other. The field, which was an observer, was responding to my deeper, unconscious signal instead of the practice I did on the surface. I began to play around in my apartment right away. I would consciously think a clear, specific thought and then see how reality responded. By consciously putting myself in a certain emotional state, I could see how things would change to match it. There was no doubt about the link. It was right away. It was exact. Truth wasn't this set, solid, out-there thing I was taught it was. Response time was good. It could be shaped. It was always and smoothly rearranging itself around the consciousness I had at the time. The most important thing I realized was that the observation could be made both ways. As soon as I realized I was being watched, I could watch the person who was watching me. I was able to read the field because it was reading my consciousness. There was not a split. There was a loving feedback loop between us where each action had an immediate effect on the other. Within weeks, the outside world changed in every way. It was logically impossible for money to come through certain channels. A beautiful new relationship started with someone who was a perfect fit for who I really am. Health problems for which doctors didn't have answers just went away. But the changes on the outside weren't the real change. Realizing that I had always had this power was what really changed me. This power to control quantum energy through my consciousness had always been there for me. I had just been using it without thinking about it, in a way that wasn't in line with what I wanted. I could finally use the mechanism on purpose once I became aware of it. Keeping that conscious awareness was the only hard part. It's very easy to fall asleep again, to go back to unconscious broadcasting, to let old, learned patterns take over, and to forget that reality is always watching and responding. Not for manifesting things, but for staying aware of the quantum observation, I had to come up with practices in order to remember that I am always sending out a signal that the field is picking up. That awareness, kept up over time, is what makes the life that seemed impossible possible. What I'm about to tell you will give you instant access to something that took me months of painful trial and error to find. This is not something you have to go through. You can start using it right away once you understand how it works. You are being watched by the field, whether you know it or not. The only question is whether you will broadcast on purpose or by accident. Sign up for this channel. This is because everything we do here is meant to help you stay aware of quantum observation and learn how to direct your energy on purpose, not by accident. Quantum reflex is what it is. Getting used to transmitting information consciously instead of randomly, of a clear signal instead of noise that doesn't make sense. Are you all set? Because what I'm about to tell you is the exact way to consciously direct quantum energy. Everything you have ever learned about manifestation, consciousness, and making your reality will be turned upside down by this. This is it. What you think is not moving energy in a certain direction. You're not putting energy where you want it to go. You are in charge of it because of what you are. It is the state of consciousness that you have every moment. Your internal state's coherence or disorder. It's how your conscious wants and your unconscious beliefs match up or don't match up. When you think about what you want, the quantum field doesn't do anything. No matter what state of being you are in, it will respond. I want abundance is something you can think about all day. However, if you are scarcity consciousness, if your mind, body, and heart are tight, scared, and sure that there is not enough, then the field will respond to that, not to what you think you want. This is why most people don't get results from affirmations. They are trying to make what they think matter more than what they are. And the field will always respond to who you are, instead of what you think. In quantum observation, this is what is happening. Your electromagnetic signature is being read by the field. This is the frequency pattern that your mental, emotional, physical, and energetic states make when put together. You are coherent when all of those things work together and sing the same song. Your signal is clean, strong, and easy to understand. When those things go against each other, you are not making sense. Your signal is weak and noisy. When consciousness is coherent, it sends a clear signal that the field can precisely respond to. Uncoherent consciousness makes static, and the field can only respond by making reality chaotic. Think about what it means to you. You are aware that you want a loving relationship. You don't know it, but deep down, you think you're not good enough to be loved. You are not responding to the field with your conscious want. Instead, it is responding to your unconscious belief, which is what you are really being. You consciously want to have a lot of money. But you think that rich people are bad or that money makes people dishonest without even realizing it. Poverty and lack will show up in the field, not because it doesn't want to, but because it is responding to your unconscious being correctly. This is why it's never a good idea to try to manifest from the ego. The ego wants to feel safe, validated, and better than other people. That being said, wanting is a state of scarcity consciousness in and of itself. Because you are someone who lacks and needs, the field responds by keeping up the lack you are trying to get away from. Being the consciousness that naturally has what you want is what true, powerful manifestation is. It happens when you truly embody the frequency where that reality already exists as a fact, not when you try to force it or want it. Wow, that's crazy how fast this is happening. You don't have to stay in a positive state for weeks or months before the field responds. Every second, it responds to the state you are in at that very moment. The field starts to rearrange reality right away to match your new state as soon as you genuinely change from a state of scarcity consciousness to an abundance consciousness. The moment you stop feeling like you don't have enough and start feeling like you do have everything you need, things start to fall into place right away. It doesn't take nearly as long as everyone says it does for your reality to change after you change how you are. But now it gets even more radical and beautiful. There's no need to become a perfect, idealized, high-vibration version of yourself in order for the field to heal you. You just need to be yourself. That which is true moves the field. It responds to being real. That consciousness responds to it because it is not acting, pretending, or putting on a mask. You will stop trying to be what you think you should be, like positive or spiritual, and start being who you really are right now. Without trying to stop it, the field responds to that honest, raw humanness. When you respond, it makes a reality that fits with your true nature instead of your conditioned ideas about what you should have or be. Right now, reality is sending you clear signs that this quantum observation has become stronger and that you are being asked to consciously direct this energy. These signs are no longer subtle. They are clear. They don't give up. They can't be ignored. Your manifestations are happening so quickly that it's almost making you feel uncomfortable. Things that you think about come to mind too quickly, which makes you hyper-aware of your own thought patterns. There's no difference between your positive and negative thoughts. They both come true pretty quickly. This speeding up isn't a coincidence. It's the field that tells you how responsive it is. Because the feedback loop has shrunk to almost instantaneous response time, it trains you to be aware of what you're sending out. It's impossible to explain why the synchronicities have gotten stronger. When you think of someone, they call you right away, several times a day. You need information, and the exact source shows up from a channel that shouldn't exist. What these coincidences do is show you that reality is connected to your consciousness through their frequency and accuracy. It is responding to you so precisely that the line between your inner world and the outside world is clearly and beautifully blurring. The strong feeling that you can't hide anymore might be the most unsettling thing. You feel like your secrets are out in the open, even though no one has found them. The world can see the contradictions inside you, even though no one has talked to you about them. This isn't crazy thinking. This is a correct understanding. Anything can be seen by the quantum field. Every unspoken thought, every buried fear, every lie, and every single contradiction. You are becoming more aware of being seen at this deepest, most basic level as the observation gets stronger. Your ego is feeling uncomfortable because it knows it can't keep up its masks and performances any longer, not when your consciousness is being read so completely. But here is the important signal that you can't ignore. Real life is giving you a very small, holy window of time to move from being unconscious to being conscious. That window is going away. Right now, there is a lot of observation. You're very aware of things. The feedback comes right away. This unique arrangement will not last forever. You will break through into deliberate quantum direction if you use your mind right now. The intensity will go down if you ignore this or just find it interesting and don't use it. You will become less aware, and you will have to wait for another crisis, another thing that sets off this conscious shift in order for it to happen again. The universe does not put pressure on you through fear, but it does talk to you through timing, and the time is now communicating. Your consciousness is now ready to go. In response, the field has stepped up its observations. The synchronicities are all telling you that you have reached a major turning point. What you do in the next few days and weeks will determine whether you continue to unconsciously spread chaos for years to come or start deliberately directing coherence right away. This is the truth. There really are threshold moments, windows of opportunity, and the best times for big spiritual changes. This is what finally makes conscious direction work. You should give up trying to control what you send out. You should instead let yourself be what you're broadcasting. This difference is very important. The ego tries to force coherence through control. You are trying to hide your negative emotions by acting happy and ignoring what is really going on. When you allow, your true consciousness accepts what is. By accepting your fear instead of fighting it, you can change how you feel about it. You create more incoherence when you try to control your signal by forcing positive thoughts, denying your sadness, or acting like you have plenty when you really don't. The field picks up on the deep contradiction between what you're trying to show and how you really feel, and it reacts to that truth. Every time you try to control your vibe, you send out both the sadness itself and the resistance to it, which makes your signal less stable. But something amazing happens when you just be with your own pain without judging it, when you acknowledge the fear without trying to fix it, and when you feel the lack without fighting it. Coherence is produced by acceptance itself. You're no longer going against what you said. At this very moment, you are being who you really are. Being truly yourself always makes sense, even if the content of who you are doesn't match what your ego wants. Being real is more important than being positive in the quantum field. It is much better to really be scared than to act like you are sure of yourself. It's better to really feel like you don't have enough than to act like you do. It's better to be in pain than to act like everything is fine. Why? Since the authentic negative makes sense. You're not going up against yourself. But the fake positive doesn't make sense. It's not true. And coherence is what makes the field work. End of story. Please write these exact words in the comments. This is a promise to the field and to yourself. As you write this, remember that I lead by being, not by wanting. As soon as you say this, you stop trying to chase a manifestation through desire and start becoming the manifestation through full embodiment. You're letting the field know that it responds to who you are, not what you want. Not only changing your thoughts, but also changing who you are, is what transformation is. Write it down. Because I am, not because I want, I direct. Now pay attention to what happens in your body as you say that. Feel the freedom. Allow yourself to feel calmer by letting go of the trying and forcing. Realize that your real power comes from being yourself, not from how well you perform, Your whole reality changes in ways that will seem impossible until you experience them. This change comes when you stop unconscious broadcasting and start conscious, authentic direction. Making things happen becomes easy. It's no longer a project. Why? There's no longer a need to make something you don't have. You are just stepping into the consciousness where what you want is already true. And in response, the field makes the corresponding reality real. You want lots of things? You develop abundance consciousness, which is generous, flowing, trusting, and open. As a result, money and resources start to flow through channels you never imagined. Do you want love? You become love consciousness, which means you are whole, open-hearted, and loving of yourself. Then you start to attract people who perfectly match that high frequency. The project of trying to make things happen, which was draining and painful, is over. Everything you did to push, force, or try to change reality to get what you want just disappeared. You will feel a huge amount of relief. You are no longer fighting the quantum field by trying to stop what it is seeing with your wishful thinking. You're dancing with it. It is getting a clear, beautiful, and real signal, and you are letting it do what it does best, which is create a reality that matches your consciousness. Your suffering will get a lot better. Because most of our pain comes from the painful difference between what we want and who we are. You want to be successful, but you have doubts about yourself. You want to connect with people, but your heart is closed. You desire freedom, but your consciousness is one of victimization. That space between what you want and what you have is where suffering lives. The suffering goes away when you change your focus from wanting to being. It needs to. That painful internal contradiction is no longer happening because you are no longer making it. Without you even trying, your influence or good effect on the world grows by leaps and bounds. Because your field is sending out pure coherence instead of chaos. People react to you in different ways, and everyone's quantum field picks up on that coherence, even if they are not aware of it. Some people will want to be close to you because you make them feel safe and clear. Because of your coherence, other people might stay away from you. But everyone will answer because a coherent consciousness has a strong effect on all other consciousness in its field. In ways that you can check every day, reality becomes clearly responsive. It looks like you need something. Should you ask a question, the answer will appear right away. You have an idea about a direction, and things seem to be setting up to either confirm it or disprove it at the exact right time. You can test the field because it is responding so accurately. Your reality will change to match the state you choose to be in. This is not a magical belief. This is a real experience that can be repeated and checked. It shows that you can and are using the quantum observation mechanism consciously. The most important thing is that you learn to trust your ability to get through life. Not because you can control what's going on around you, but because you know in your bones that you can always choose how you are. And what reality shows up depends on who you are. You have no say over whether or not you lose money. But even when you're losing money, you can choose abundance consciousness, and that will bring you more money. You have no say over when a relationship ends. Even if you're going through a breakup, you can choose to be in love consciousness, and that will bring you new, beautiful connections. Don't think you have power over out there. When you consciously and lovingly direct the in here and let the quantum field respond perfectly to that, you are powerful. Now for the last surprise. This is the one that ties everything together. For conscious quantum direction, this is the key that opens all doors. Please think about this. Your story is not being watched by the field. It is keeping an eye on your state. Your story is the story your mind made up about you, what happened, and why you can't do certain things. I had a traumatic childhood. I'm just not good with money. My family always. That's your story. Your state is the frequency that your consciousness is sending out right now, regardless of what story you are telling. And your state is the only thing that matters for quantum manifestation. This is the freeing and empowering news in the whole universe. It means that even though you have a history of trauma, limitation, and not being worthy, you can be whole, powerful, and wealthy right now. And if your story and your state don't match, the field will always respond to your state. One day you might be full of confidence, fear, and lack, but the next, you might feel like you've accomplished a lot and are successful. And when there is a difference, the field reacts to the state. Your story has nothing to do with quantum manifestation. Your state of consciousness at this very moment is all that matters. This feels so good. Unless you keep living in the past in the present, it means that your past doesn't decide your future. Even if you've been through terrible trauma, the field will respond to your present wholeness, not your past trauma, if you are in a state of wholeness right now. You could have failed 100 times, but the field will respond to your present success frequency instead of your history of failures if you are in success consciousness right now. This is revolutionary for how it can be used in real life. Don't try to change what you said. You don't need to heal your whole past before you can have a good life. Don't try to change all of your old beliefs. Just change your state instead. Now, come into the present. Allow yourself to feel what you're feeling. Don't try to hide who you are. And then, choose the state you want to be in from that place of pure, real presence. Not by making it happen, not by pulling a trick, but by making a real, gentle change in the way your consciousness works, you are. How do you change your state? You know that what happens to you is not your state. What you make depends on where you look and how you interact with what is there. When you focus on what you don't have, you create a state of scarcity. If you focus on what's working, you'll feel like you have plenty. When you fight what is, you make a contracted state. If you accept what is, you create a state of being open. Once you understand how this works, your state is always your choice. Each and every moment, the quantum field reads your state and creates a reality that matches it. Reality starts to change right away to match your new state every time it changes, even if it's only for a second. Not after some time has passed. 17 seconds of hold it is enough. Right away. The lag you feel is just the time it takes for things that are dense to catch up and get back in order. But when your state changes, the quantum blueprint changes right away. This means that every moment is a new chance to change your whole reality by just changing how you feel. Things look bad, right? Change your state from one of resistance to one of acceptance. Do your relationships feel disconnected? Change the state from closed to open. Does money seem tight? Change your state from lack to abundance. Not even the circumstances need to change first. If you change your state, the field will respond, and then the circumstances will change to match. And now for the deepest thought that makes all of this sustainable and kind. You don't have to stay in a certain state all the time. States change. That's how they are. Realizing that you can choose to change your state every moment, instead of letting outside events throw you between states without your awareness, is all that gives you power. Don't try to be a positive person all the time. You are just learning how to recognize your current state and change it on purpose when it's not helping you. There is no break in the quantum observation. It is complete and completely responsive. You are always being watched. You can always hear the field. Your reality always shows up the way you feel. What changes is whether you are aware of this mechanism and using it on purpose, or whether you are not aware of it and letting it run at random, based on the state you are in at the moment. Right now, you're the subject of quantum observation. As you finish these words, the field is reading your state, and the reality that starts to show up for you next depends on what state you are in right now. This isn't potential for the future. This is a mechanism that works in the present moment, right now. The question is whether you will direct it consciously or let it run on its own. The way you direct this energy is good for more than just your own life. The collective field is changed every time you move from chaos to coherence, from unconscious to conscious, or from a reactive state to a chosen state. You experience a coherent reality as a result of coherent consciousness. That makes it easier for all consciousness to get to the same level of clarity by adding to the field's coherence. The work you do on the inside is service to the planet. For the future to happen, enough people like you need to stop being unconscious chaos senders and start being conscious directors of quantum energy. Please share this understanding. Tell people who you think are ready about it. Those who are ready will know in their hearts that this is what they've been feeling all along. I'll show you the easy daily habit that keeps you moving forward consciously, so you don't go back to the old unconscious broadcasting in the next video. The protocol is easy and only takes 3 minutes, but it changes the way you think about quantum observation in a big way. You will learn how to check your state in real time, change it when needed, and send correct, clear signals to the field. This isn't how you meditate. This is how the state is run directly. So say what you want to say one more time in the comments right now. Write down, "I direct through being, not through wanting." This is your understanding of how quantum manifestation really works. Feel free to subscribe once you're done writing it. This channel's whole point is to teach you how to work directly with quantum mechanics. Quantum reflex is what it is. Learning to be instantly aware of your state and to be able to change it instantly. Don't hope anymore. You no longer need to guess why it's not working. What the quantum field sees in you is now controlled by your conscious mind. Make sure your notifications are on, because just getting this has changed you. There's no way to unknow this. You can't think that reality is random again. Now you know that the field is reading you and answering you. What you know changes everything. From now on, you have a choice, or conscious coherence or unconscious chaos. Both have the same effect on the quantum field. It doesn't care what you do. Whatever it sees, it just reflects back. You are free to make your choice. Quantum observation is being applied to you. Now is the time to direct the stress. There is power here. Now is the time. Make an informed choice.